Live Liverpool against Manchester City. So sit back, put the heating on, and warm yourselves up for 2 hours of live football commentary action here from Anfield as the Kop is flying here with flags and all sorts. I have the all-important team news in just a second or two for you to chew the fat over, but it's a remarkable game here. Manchester City lying fourth. Liverpool at the moment running away with the title, with Leicester their nearest challengers at the moment. Leicester having beaten Arsenal 2-0 last night and moving to second place. This really is a big game for all sorts of reasons. We'll give you the two lineups in just a second or two, but let's give you them now. It's Alisson in goal, then it's Alexander-Arnold, Lovren, Van Dijk, Robertson, Henderson, Fabinho, Ronaldo, Salah, Firmino and Mane. The front three you come to expect from Liverpool. On the bench, Adrian, Milner, Keita, Gomez, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Lallana and Origi. City have got problems, defensive problems. Bravo replaces the injured Ederson, who injured himself against Atalanta in the week. He comes in goal. Walker, Stones, Fernandinho, De Bruyne, Rodri, Gundogan, Silva, Aguero and Sterling. Carson, Jesus, David Silva, Riyad Mahrez, Cancelo, Otamendi and Phil Foden on the bench. We'll be taking a breather for a second or two because it's Remembrance Sunday, of course. And everyone here in Anfield, as at every other ground in the country this weekend, are paying respects to everyone who gave their lives in conflict over last 100 years or so. As the coin toss has been conducted. You Never Walk Alone sings in the background. Now we're going to hear the playing of the last post and a 2-minute silence in honour of those who lost their lives in conflict over 100 years or so. Let's remember. Let's remember all the war dead this Remembrance Sunday. The people that gave so much and sacrificed so much so we could all have a better future. We're going to pause for a 2-minute silence. And I have to say, it was well observed by nearly 60,000 inside Anfield this evening. It was beautifully observed, and credit to everyone in the stadium for showing respect to our fallen soldiers over the last 100 years or so. Give yourself a round of applause, each and every one of you. Right, well, this is it, the final game of the round. And Manchester City are coming into this game line in 4th place at the moment. Well, they need to win to stay in with a hunt of even retaining their Premier League title here. Liverpool so far ahead at kick-off. Leicester in 2nd place. Manchester City need to win this game. Liverpool win. It's going to have to take a monumental run for Manchester City to thwart them. Remember, Liverpool have not been beaten in the Premier League this season. They've come a couple of times. They almost come a couple of times, almost at Old Trafford the other week when we covered them there. But away we go then at Anfield. A terrific atmosphere, terrific noise and figure for this game as Manchester City attack the Kop in the first half, and now Virgil van Dijk in defence here. City have got defensive problems as well. And it's amazing to see. Sue's on and Rossi's on. Good evening, good afternoon to you all. Sue says, I was remembering my granddad during the 2-minute silence he fought in the Second World War. Well, good. It's nice to know that you think about your ancestors and what they did for the way that they sacrificed everybody. I think it's an important thing that we remember the war, the people that passed away in the war. Now, just to remind you of the officials, well, City have a throw level with the Liverpool 18-yard box on the near side. It's Michael Over in charge from County Durham. Then the two assistants, Stuart Bird on the far side and Mr. Bird on the near side as that cross comes over from Walker and it's onto the roof of the net and behind. In fact, it deflects for the first corner with a minute gone, 0-0. It's Mr. Bird and Mr. Bennett. Mr. Bennett's on the near and Mr. Burt on the far. Stuart Burt, that is. And Mike Dean, not too far away from the Wirral, is the fourth official. And the VAR ref down at Stockley Park is Paul Tierney. 45th Premier League waiting, Liverpool with 19 wins. But it's City with the corner taken by De Bruyne, only half away. Fernandinho trying to shot back in. And the ball played out towards the corner taker De Bruyne, who leaves the ball inexplicably. And it goes out of play by Liverpool throwing halfway inside their own half. It's Andy Robertson to take it. Liverpool have won 4 of their last 5. They nicked a last-minute victory at Aston Villa last Saturday. And the same was actually said at the Etihad when City got a late goal to beat plucky Southampton, who had just come off the back of being thrashed 9-0 by Leicester City the week before that. Roll back to Claudio Bravo. In for the injured Edison, and of course they can't use Muric because he's on loan for the season at Nottingham Forest. This is Sergio Aguero trying to get the ball out towards the far side here, and Sterling, former Liverpool man, of course, that will add a few more fuel to the fire here. Ex-Liverpool, a lot of Liverpool fans I've been speaking to reckon Sterling left Liverpool for all the money, but I have to say, one or two are really their respect back for Raheem Sterling after what happened, of course, in Bulgaria and all that, and the way he played on despite all that abuse he took there. Now then, here's an interesting stat. Sergio Aguero's never scored at Anfield for either Atletico Madrid, his previous club, and Manchester City. Now that is an interesting stat. 3 minutes gone, it's 0-0 incidentally. This is De Bruyne, and he goes down. And City appealing, it's Bernardo Silva that goes Tubby Robertson with the challenge. Bob T's where he poppies in honour of the stricken war dead. And give away. They've sacrificed so much to give us a brighter future, and nights like this where we can enjoy things in peace and comfort and all that. Here's De Bruyne there with the first free kick. Right hand side, level with the 6-yard box of Liverpool. As the ball floats it in towards the near post. A bit up and under, but the ball's gone dead and Alisson caught it in any case. And it is a corner, I think, to Manchester City. It is. It got a deflection off Gini Ronaldo, I think. So a corner kick. Excuse me. To Manchester City. Now. Here comes De Bruyne, right foot into the 6-yard area. There was a little flick in there on the 6-yard line. And in the end, it comes away. And it's Trent Alexander-Arnold gets it away. It wasn't a particularly good clearance. It hit Sterling, but it came back. Well, fortunate to the Liverpool right back. And now a real scuff clearance there by Alisson that found Van Dijk, fortunately for him. Henderson now takes possession on the right-hand side for Liverpool. Goes over the halfway line. Then he turns, swivels. Looks for support. He's got it in Sadio Mane. A good Mane form at the moment. Robertson was free on that side, but the pass from Mane was poor. And Fernandinho was able to clear up the scraps and get the ball back to Bravo, who's put under a lot of pressure there by Mane. That was, well, we've seen some kamikaze goal kicks or attempts at goal kicks in the opening stages. And they're all forward again from Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva into the penalty area. Cuts in from the right-hand side. City appeal a penalty. They might well go to VAR. Sergio Aguero is making that point vehemently clear to Mr. Oliver, the referee. And it's now Mane on the breakout. Down the left-hand side, it's Mane. Good start to this game. Good ebb and flow. Mane with a cross into the penalty area. Salah was waiting, and in the end, City got it away. But now Fabinho! And Fabinho has scored an absolute stunner from 25 yards, right foot. And Liverpool lead at Anfield. And Pep Guardiola is not happy in the slightest. And the players surrounding the referee. Walker having a go, Fernandinho having a pop, Van Dijk getting in there. Liverpool for now have scored. And would it be a travesty from a game point of view if the goal was to be disallowed? But City felt in the build-up to that there was a penalty, or they should have had a penalty awarded. 6 minutes have gone. And now it may well be a VAR decision here. Was there a penalty there? Was there a penalty, Panini? VAR man, check it for us. But let's just look at the goal again. It wasn't great City defending. They managed to get it away. And there's the shot. It's a terrific goal if it stands. Is VAR going to get involved now? Obviously, it's got to be clear and obvious. That's the objective that VAR gets now. Unfortunately, here at Anfield, the stadium does not possess a big screen. Now, does the goal stand? I think the goal's going to stand, you know. I'm not thinking, but City may well have a case for a penalty then. But then again, it comes back to the old debate. The goal's given, and Michael Oliver and Paul Tierney again at the centre of controversy here, because having looked at the replays, and I've got to concur, I'm afraid, with Russ and Vanini, that's not a penalty. That's a penalty. That's actually a clear penalty. It looks a handball, and to me, that's clear and obvious. I mean, at what point do these VAR people, the officials that operate this ridiculous system? Well, it's not the system as such that's the problem. It's the people that are using it. Are so ridiculous. I'm sorry, but that's a penalty to Manchester City. It looked a penalty. You could tell from Sergio Aguero's face that, and you could tell by Pep Guardiola. I mean, listen, I don't want to take the goal away from Fabinho. It was a super goal, but you have to have a lot of sympathy here for Manchester City. That, to me, that's a penalty. Because look at that. Trent Alexander-Arnold's got his arm out there and hits his arm. That's a penalty. How on earth can that not be given? That is the most clear and obvious penalty you'll ever see in your life. And VAR, once again, has let everyone down. It's the people that are using it. Let's make no mistake. It's not the technology. It's the people that are using it. And why isn't Michael Oliver going to the big screen? City with a free kick into the 6-yard area, and it's Sterling who heads wide. And it goes behind for a corner. Now, I think what Manchester City have to do now is try and just accept the decision and get on with it, however tough it is for them to take it. But I've seen the replay now from several angles, and it looks so clear and obvious. I mean, what are they briefing these people here down at Stockley Park? What are they briefing them on? What is the clear and obvious standard for a VAR decision to happen, or to get to the right decision? Somebody pinch me and tell me, because I can't understand it. I just simply cannot utterly understand it, because I'm nothing against VAR. I'm a great advocate for it. I always have been. Ever since they were going to have it. And we've just lost momentarily. Well, let's just discuss VAR for a second, because the angles we've seen it from there, that to me is the most clear and obvious decision I think VAR could ever make. I mean, 1-0 to Liverpool, by the way, just in wondering, but we've lost pictures, I'm afraid. But we'll get them back in a second or two. But it's weird, it's ugly again, VAR, and the amount of times we watch football these days, and I think people are getting fed up of it now. You want to see the VAR system, the CAR system. I don't know how you guys feel, but the VAR system was brought in necessarily to give the right decisions. That's what VAR was supposed to do. Now, FIFA have tried it at the World Cup and have had a successful run at it in the last World Cup, and there was no arguments with any of the decisions made in that. Not that I can remember. We've got the FA Cup. It's again, that's been a bit more of a trial and error thing, because obviously it needed that sort of thing to happen there. 11 minutes gone incident. It's 1-0 to Liverpool. We'll be back live in just a second with the commentary. But what you've got to say, VAR we need to take a good look at VAR this now. Surely VAR's got to start getting the right decisions. If it doesn't get the right decisions, then I think it should be. I think we should just ban it altogether, because it's just going to create anarchy, and it's just, we don't want that in the game. It's, the game's tough enough as it is, and I feel sympathy in a way for Paul Michael over in this, because he's the referee, but he's gone with his gut instinct. But we saw what as the ball's played back to Alisson. We've got the game back now, but well, we did have the game back. It's having a bad day, this BT. I think they're on one today, I think, but we're having a. At least we're filling the time talking about VAR decisions and the like, because this is. I'm afraid it's not on. You can't tell me at any one time that these decisions are being made for the good of the game, because they're not being made for the good of the game. They are just, and Liverpool have gone 2 up. Liverpool have gone 2 goals clear. Liverpool go 2 goals clear, and we've missed a goal, I'm afraid. And it's thanks to the incompetence of my internet, I'm afraid. But the 2 goals have gone. We've got 2 goals clear. I'll just tell you who's got the goal in a second or two. But I'm afraid we're having one of those moments where it all keeps going wrong. And I'm getting a little bit fed up now. But it's 2-0. I can tell you it's 2-0. I'll try and figure out the score in a minute. But what I can tell you, it's 2-0. And let me tell you who got the second goal before we begin commentary. Robinho scored the goal, and it's Salah who scored. Salah has scored. Robertson with the cross, and then came Mo Salah to tap in the second goal. So Liverpool go 2-0 up. Mo Salah from Robertson's cross, 2-0. And Liverpool in complete command. And it all traces back to the VAR decision that wasn't given. And you just wonder now, is the whole exercise worth it? Is the whole exercise completely and utterly worth it? Because we'll go back. We'll keep talking about VAR until we're blue in the face. I think that's a given. So Salah has scored. So 2-0. And as I said, it came in from the right-hand side. So 2-0. And well, debates will rumble on and on and on and on about this. And now we're back live with the action. But I can tell you that Mo Salah has just scored from close range. So Liverpool 2 goals clear. And City have it all to do. Well, Michael Oliver at the centre of the controversy. But it's Robertson with the cross from the left-hand side. Salah nodding in the second goal. This is a superb performance from Liverpool. They lead City now by 2-0. Quadrano's played then at Anfield And that's the scoreline at the moment. It says City try to get again. We've got commentary back now as Guerrero knocks the ball forward. City, remember, 2-0 down. Wolves 2, Aston Villa 1, and Manchester United 3, Brighton and Hove Albion 1 were full-time scores. They kicked off at 1:30 in the afternoon. Bernardo Silva on the left-hand side for Manchester City. Bernardo with the shots into the penalty area. Comes to Sterling. And that is turned away once again. Fernandinho away. But it also proves that City's defence is really, really shaky at the moment. No key defenders. And of course, they've lost their goalkeeper, of course, stricken against Atalanta. There's been some FA Cup ties played this afternoon as well, which I'm going to keep you abreast of because Wolves now move up to 8th, so that means Burnley will be knocked down to 10th with that. England have won another series in the Super Over against New Zealand, winning by a Super Over. I mean, this is the new. I'm just breaking off on commentary for a second because look at this. VAR, the referee's chief, Mike Riley, tells officials to use the pitchside TV monitors. Now they want to. Oh, I don't know. I just think the whole exercise is an absolute farce. That's all I'll say on this issue. 17 minutes gone. We have, I'm sadly to say, missed another goal this season due to the incompetence of my BT internet. But I can tell you the second goal came about through a cross from the left-hand side from Andy Robertson. Peacher across, defence nowhere near, and in came Mo Salah to make it 2-0. And that's the scoreline at the moment. The ball out of play. No live Premier League action next weekend, as it's an international break. We have some cup results from earlier today. We'll just break off for a second. Dover 1, Southend 0. I think that was a game that Panini covered. Barnet 0, Fleetwood 2, Bristol Rovers 1, Bromley 1, they replay. Chippenham Town 0, Northampton Town 3, Gateshead 1, Oldham 2, Leyton Orient 1, Malden and Triptree 2. What a great result for Malden. Macclesfield 0, Kingstonian 4, another big result. Wrexham and Rochdale will replay after a 0-0. York 0, Altrincham 1, and Hayes and Yeading 0, Oxford 2. Liverpool 2, Man City 0 in the Premier League. We've seen some crackers here. We saw a decent game at Wolves on Thursday. We saw a magnificent game in the FA Cup where Dulwich Hamlet came very close at one point to maybe causing an upset against Carlisle. And here, Liverpool, dare I say it, are 1 foot in. Basically 1 foot in winning this game as well, with 19 minutes gone. Not to take anything away from excuse me, Manchester City at the moment. There is problems abounding here from City. There are 2 goals down. I'm probably now needing some snookers here and maybe some divine inspiration. Mike Hardiman has been on and says VAR is rubbish, get it in the bin. Well, I think the people that utilise it need to get sacked. I think they all need sacking. And I think they need people in there that, quite frankly, that have to utilise the system better. I think the system is good in its way, but they have to be urged, I think, the VAR people to try and actually just turn around and say, right, this is how we're going to do it. We don't need you officials who have been utilising it. You've been absolutely nothing. And I have to be honest with you, I think. And then you've got to look at the professional game match officials group that that he played the people to sort all this out down at Stockley Park. And you've got to look at their role in all this. I think it should be an independent body. I think we should have people that are truly independent who haven't actually refereed a game of football, but maybe experts in a VAR field. Maybe they've got to term it like that. Who are experts at VAR. Meanwhile, Ronaldo going forward and gets his shot in. It just misses the right-hand post. Not by much, but it's far enough away. 20 minutes gone. It's Liverpool 2, Man City 0. And it's looking very, very tough now for Manchester City. Last season's Premier League champions up against last season's European Cup winners. In fact, he got a deflection, so it's a corner kick to Liverpool. So let's see what can happen on this far side of the field. Alexander-Arnold from the right-hand side into the penalty area. Third Liverpool goal would certainly kill the game as a contest. Here's Robertson now for Liverpool. Robertson streaking forward, and that's played in towards Mo Salah on the far side. Alexander-Arnold wins possession, but he loses it now, and this is where Sterling needs to be coy and get this ball forward, and he finds Sergio Aguero. Sergio Aguero gets away from a defender, which was Robertson. He's kept it in on the byline on the right-hand side. Still Sergio Aguero gets the ball back, finds Rodri. Rodri infield once again. Oh, that's surely a foul there, surely. I have to tell you that that's a free kick. I think Fabinho there a little bit hard, went in a little hard there. And referee Oliver giving him a good talking to. As he ought to be at this point, I think. And I don't think he's going to take any action or in terms of a booking. But that was definitely a foul there on Gundogan as far as I was concerned. And I've seen... Oh, he's Robert Rodrigo, sorry. Oh, no, it was Gundogan, sorry. Rodri... Where's Rodrigo on the back of his shirt, incidentally. 22.5 minutes gone. Liverpool 2, Man City 0 if you joined us late. Ball chipped into the penalty area towards Raheem Sterling on the far side. Sterling to the byline, cross back. And flicked away and behind for a City corner, which will be taken on the far side. Remember, Manchester City, this is not a good hunting ground for Manchester City, incidentally. Here's another stat for you. They haven't won on this ground since December 1981. 1981 was the last time City won a league match at Anfield against Liverpool. As the shot comes back in, City still attacking. But now the ball comes away and it's Robertson now to lead the charge, and he's got Mo Salah away on the far side. Mo Salah tried to keep it in and he succeeded, but I think the ball's going to go behind anyway, and behind for a goal kick, in fact. Well, we've seen... It's been a disappointing afternoon for Manchester City, and I'm sure there's going to be repercussions from that VAR, that missed VAR call. It's unfortunate, I know, but that's the way it goes. And Russ has got a quote from former referee Keith Hackett of Sheffield. He says that I have to say, whilst Oliver was in a terrific position to say no pen, the VAR has got it wrong, agreeing with him. Deliberate handball, in his opinion, as Aguero comes forward into the area. Aguero with a shot, good save by Alisson, turning it away, and still City have chased it back with Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva back again, now De Bruyne. De Bruyne. Looking to find Bernardo Silva. We'll continue with Keith Hackett's statement in just a second or two. And the ball out of play. Is it? No, I thought that had gone out there. I thought that should have been a throw-in, but the referee allowing it to go on. We'll just stay with this City attack again. This is Kyle Walker now for City. He finds Bernardo Silva on the right-hand channel. Looks for support. He's not going to try and... He's going to hit a diagonal ball towards the left. And he's controlled nicely there by Raheem Sterling. 25 minutes almost gone. Ball knocked back. Too high for Aguero. He's not the tallest of men. And Sadio Mane can bring it away now for Liverpool. Right, to continue with Keith Hackett's. And just seeing that... oh, that's a nice ball from Mane over the top. Wijnaldum bundled out of play. And, well... That's Sergio Aguero in a nutshell there. Good opportunity here. It was nicely worked on the left-hand side this time. And then Aguero getting his shot off, and it was a great save by Alisson. Liverpool in possession. But just go back to Keith Hackett's statement. He says, deliberate handball in his opinion, and City should have been awarded a penalty, and the Liverpool goal from Fabinho should have been ruled out. I could not agree with Keith Hackett. In his day, actually, Keith Hackett, I remember him actually being a referee. I'm old enough to remember that. As we just got break off for a second because Mo Salah was breaking forward, but two City players held him up, but Salah shook them off. Here's Firmino, and now Robertson. Oh, good tackle. Good, tremendous tackle there from Fernandinho, and he had to get there. Just going back to the Keith Hackett thing, I agree with Keith Hackett. He was one of our best referees. One of the best referees that this country's produced, along with David Ellery and a few others. Jack Taylor, of course, going back a few years, and Pat Partridge. But wait a minute, here's a chance now for Liverpool. Firmino trying to turn in the area, but it's again a good tackle now. Sterling to break forward the halfway line. Aguero, the advantage is played quite sensibly there by Mr. Oliver, the referee. Now then, chances here. Sergio Aguero. Sterling is running towards the edge of the penalty area. Rodri now takes possession. Finds Bernardo Silva on the right-hand channel. Manchester City trailing Liverpool with 2-0 as we go towards the 27th minute. The ball played into the edge of the area. It's a poor ball, really. And City's build-up play has been fine enough, but the last bit is just lacked in terms of substance and quality. So we've had 27 minutes. Fabinho and Salah the scorers. Salah with a header that made it 2-0. And Fabinho's shot 25-yard cracker, which arguably, and I think I agree with what Ross Vernon and Panini have just said, really, that the penalty should have been allowed to stand. Should have stood, and the goal ruled out. And I think this is where VAR's got to take a stand. I mean, Mike Rowe is trying to get to... Well, they've got a meeting coming up, the referees and the Premier League clubs, all 20 of them. They're due for a meeting, I think, in London during the week. And I have to say, I think the meeting should have come before then, because once again, we're seeing instances again, and we've seen it again this week of VAR controversies. I think we had one at Burnley yesterday, which didn't cost Burnley in the end. But Chris Wood scored, I thought, a legitimate goal, but was chalked up for one little toe being offside. I just find that baffling. These offside rules, they're ridiculous to say the least. Here's Bernardo with a cross, and it's nodded away by the brilliant Virgil van Dijk. But because of this VAR decision, it's really has strengthened Liverpool's hand in terms of the game. But here's a chance here for City. Oh, it's in the post. It's in the right-hand post, and it's gone away. Oh, there was a little bit of a scramble in there. City had worked it well down the left-hand channel. It was a terrific piece of football here. The shot came in, and I think it might have been Angelino with the shot. It was Angelino off the post, and I think he got a deflection. Here's a chance for De Bruyne into the area, punched away by Alisson. City laying siege to the Liverpool goal. It's all City at the moment as they look to get back on terms. Well, they need to get one back first, then get a second. With their attacking intent and their experiences, they've certainly got the skills to do it. They haven't won at Anfield, though, since 81. And here comes City again. Shot over the top. Bernardo Silva, but it's offside. Offside, and John Stones, in fact, was the man, who had the shot. Well, Pep Guardiola will be understandably frustrated by the VAR decision. And it's the fastest goal they've conceded since Arsenal in December 2016. The first goal from Fabinho was timed at 5 minutes and 26 seconds. But it's a tough old day at the office for Manchester City at the moment. Fabinho, who got the first, which a lot of people will argue till the cows come home, should not have been allowed to stand because VAR should have overruled Michael Owen's decision not to give a penalty. Here's Mo Salah into the area now. Liverpool now looking to stick the knife in even further. Alexander-Arnold with the cross into the penalty area, but it's going to come away now. City now just need to keep pressing and keep going. Liverpool will not be out the woods yet. If City can get one back, then anything can still happen. There's still a long way to go. We've had half an hour of the first half. It's Liverpool 2, Manchester City 0. But we've had VAR controversy, not for the first time this season. And we've got, I think we knew this was going to be we knew it was going to be teasing problems with this system. We had the same old kerfuffle when they introduced it. 22 seasons ago in the FA Cup, because we had all this controversy then, and then the World Cup, it seems to work perfectly. I think when FIFA gets something like this and utilise it, they actually know how to use it well, and UEFA have done it so to a certain extent, because the decisions have been correct. Because the people that are the people that are operating it know the rules of the game. Whereas our referees in this country don't. And can you understand why FIFA didn't send a single English ref to the last World Cup, as the ball played into the penalty area from Angelino and it missed everyone inside the penalty area and it's gone behind for a Liverpool goal kick? Is it any wonder why FIFA don't send any English refs to the World Cup in the last tournament in Russia? And without that burden of English referees, they actually had a good VAR in that tournament as well. There were one or two contentious decisions in the earlier rounds, but by and large, VAR seemed to be a success at the World Cup. And the Champions League, of course, as well. They don't have VAR in the Europa League until they get to the actual final as well at the end of May. But anyway, here's Mo Salah on the far side for Liverpool. Gets towards the City byline, then cuts inside or cuts outside. Lovely play with Trent Alexander-Arnold. Stands up across and it's headed behind and it's going to be a corner. And Kyle Walker absolutely berating John Stones there for the lack of marking or lack of defending of some sort here. And City are at 6s and 7s at the back, and it's no wonder really with their injury lists piling up. They've lost their goalkeeper in Italy during the week. Kyle Walker had to go in goal and save from a free kick, which could have given Atalanta all 3 points as it turned out. Coming up towards 33 minutes, it's Andrew Robertson with the corner for Liverpool. Robertson with the left foot swings it into the area, header one, and it's just wide of the left-hand post. And it was Dejan Lovren coming in at the back from the back, who got a little flick there, edge of the 6-yard area, but nodded it well wide in the end of the far left-hand post, and thankfully for City behind for a goal kick. Liverpool 2, Manchester City 0. Fabinho and Salah the goal scorers, but I'm afraid the 3 little letters VAR have reared their ugly head once again. And there surely has to be an eternal investigation into why referees are not using the screens. We have screens at every match, at every ground, small screens on the touchline. I'm not talking big screens now. Here's Sterling to the byline, wins a corner for Liverpool, for Manchester City, sorry. And now he has one or two words with his England colleague, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Born out of frustration more than anything else. Just gave him a slight push there, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Tremendous talent, but he can be a bit dirty sometimes, and referee Oliver just sensibly getting both England colleagues who will be colleagues for the forthcoming qualifiers. England need to win. I think another win will take them through to the finals next year, which the final stages, of course, semis and final will be played at Wembley. City have a corner, far side, swung into the area, and well taken, more or less on the goal line there by Alisson, whose handling there was very assured. Here's Alexander-Arnold looking to get Firmino on his way, and Salah is onside. He's gone down the left-hand side. And now players are waiting in the centre. Firmino, will he shoot on the edge of the area? Firmino goes inside, tries to toe poke it. As he went cutting from the left-hand side into the area, he cut inside and Toe poked the shot over the bar from just inside the area. It's a goal kick to City, who trail Liverpool with 10 minutes to play of the first half by 2-0. We'll take a 10-minute break as we always do on these occasions. As again, City try to play out from the back. Well, I think Pep Guardiola will have a few words to say if he's the representative for Manchester City at this meeting with Mike Riley, the referees chief. I mean, I think the referees now just need to. I think the VAR people, the professional game match officials, they need to get people in from the outside to overlook at this VAR, because these obviously these referees that are using it are certainly not literate. I mean, how difficult can it be? Excuse me, with all due respect, how difficult can it be not to make the right decision when you're looking at it from about 22 different camera angles? There's about 30 different cameras behind the game at every game. How hard is it to make the right decision with 30? It can't be that hard, surely. But these people that are using it today, we've got Paul Tierney, and he's not the most brilliant of refs by reputation or by trade, in my opinion. It just shows how poor the standard of officiating is early in this country. And I think the referees need to be retrained, and they need to be educated properly, because at the moment the current refereeing system is quite frankly not sustainable enough. You need to have strict stringencies now when you're refereeing. I mean, also I think there are a few biased referees out there as well. But meanwhile, here come Liverpool looking to score again, and it's Firmino inside the area. So it did the donkey work, shot off, and it's Bravo didn't save it with too much convincing, and in the end City had to hoist it out. The throw-in has been taken quickly, and it's now off. Robertson was getting down there, but he was body checked, and now Robertson's had a go. He's had a dig in. Excuse me. Well, Liverpool very good on the break, obviously. And at the moment, City are struggling to keep up with the pace. It was Angelino turned the ball away after the goalkeeper had not made a good fist at saving that, really. He palmed it away, but he palmed it back into the danger zone. I wonder, gosh, that is on the November the 30th. Manchester City against Chelsea. That should be an interesting match, to say the least. As Liverpool Manchester City go in search of one back before the break. We've got about 7 and a bit minutes to go before half time, and still 2-0 to Liverpool. If you've just tuned in, 2,500 people tuned in for the Wolves game as the shot comes in rather audaciously from Kyle Walker. It must have been over 35 yards as he struck it right-footed. Went way past the right-hand post, sending behind for a goal kick, but perhaps seen a bit more urgency from his troops. And they're certainly just about dominating it in possession. They've had more shots than Liverpool have, but Liverpool have had more on target and they've scored for 2 of them. One of them arguably should not have counted because of City not getting what looked like a blatant penalty when the ball ricocheted off Trent Alexander-Arnold's hand. And they'll be very disappointed about that, Manchester City. There's no two ways about that. I think when you look at the spectrum of it all, and you look at the way that the game's gone, City have really not been too bad. But here's Mo Salah on the far side. He's on his own though, and to be fair there, Fernandinho made a fantastic tackle there, and he had to time it perfectly, and he did everything right. Now Angelino to Sergio Aguero on the far side, can't find Raheem Sterling, and City are all over the place. Mo Salah, incidentally, has gone down injured. Now they do have on the bench, let me just run through the two benches if you haven't listened already. 40 minutes gone, we've got 5 to go. The benches we have This is Liverpool's bench. Adrian, Milner, Keita, Gomez, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Adam Lallana and Divock Origi. Now, he could end up going on for Mo Salah here if Salah can't continue. That's a terrific challenge there from Fernandinho, actually. For City, Scott Carson, former Liverpool goalkeeper, of course. Gabriel Jesus, David Silva, Riyad Mahrez, Cancelo, Otamendi and Phil Foden, the England starlet. This is the first goal again. This is just they've got an angle here of the being in the goal, and he nearly breaks the camera as well. And there's we're just seeing whether that was Salah, was he offside? That was the second goal. Robertson with the cross. Salah just timed his run. The ball coming in. There is Mo Salah, stooping header, 2-0, and that's a great finish. And Bravo had no chance. That was a goal we actually initially missed because of technical faults, but we have been able to tell you how it's come about. So we sort of missed it, but we haven't because we sort of caught up with it. Anyway, here's Sergio Aguero into the penalty area. Aguero with a shot, and it's wide of the far post. The right-hand post, right it went. And, well, if City do lose this game, they will look back. Of course, they'll complain about the VR decision, but also they'll have to admit because they'll also have to confess they've had their chances and they've just not finished them. And you've got to say, in fairness to Liverpool, they've taken their chances. 3 minutes almost to go before the break here, and I think we'll be glad of a half-time cup of tea, actually, or a bovril now, because we're getting towards that wintry cold weather, and it's completely not really cold out there. There was talk of snow coming over this weekend, but that's not happened as yet. But it is sub-zero out there today. Well, if Jim Bowen was around, he'd be saying to Pep Guardiola, look at what you could have won. Offside, Mane, because in those days, this time of day, it would be bullseye. Jim Bowen, Sunday afternoons, winter time, around about this time. And be giving speedboats and stuff. Well, City are far away from 3 points, let alone are so far away at the moment from 3 points, let alone a speedboat at the moment. And it'd be good if Sergio Aguero could end his break his duck here at Anfield. He's never scored in the 10 appearances he's made here at this ground. As Liverpool look to defend again as Angelino knocks the ball in looking for Aguero. As I say, he's not the biggest of players, or the tallest of players I should say, in terms of height. This is Walker picking the ball up and finding Bernardo Silva on the near side, the right hand side. City attacking the Kop, remember, in the first half. 90 seconds of normal time still remain. And then it'll be down to Mike Dean, the fourth official, to determine how much longer they may well be added on. Here's Sterling, looking to track back. Still Sterling, gets the ball into the penalty area. Robertson's there and gets it away for Liverpool. But still, City come back at Liverpool. And Angelino with a low cross this time. And from the left-hand side, Aguero is there. So too is Lovren. His clearance was initially a bit up and underish, but he got away with it again. Now here's Mane. Oh, he just caught the back of his heels there. It was a little bit unlucky because the through ball was perfect. And now there's a foul in the centre circle. And Liverpool have won a free kick. Fernandinho just going through Fabinho there. And there's all smiles. There's no handbags at 10 paces and all that jazz. Just a bit of a coming together. But it's a Liverpool free kick and no yellow card need be issued. And of course, yes, I think Sue's probably hit the nail right on the head, because in fairness to City, they have had chances and you can't back against them in a lot of ways, because and you look at the way things have gone at the moment. But Liverpool, I have to say, have been all action in this first half. And here's a chance now for Salah shoots, and the goalkeeper having to dive full length across to his right hand side as he looked as that ball was heading towards the left hand corner for Mo Salah. Must have been a roll of 20 yards from goal. Would have been a great goal as Liverpool win another free kick to City's. To the Liverpool fan, Russ. And Liverpool here, we've got 2 minutes of stoppage time. City are furious, and I think there'll be a few words said at half time. I can't wait for Pep Guardiola's reaction at half time. If he will he come, well, I'm hoping, well, will we, we're going to have to stay with it as the teams make their way off before we take the break, because I reckon we might just see a furious Pep Guardiola run onto the field here as the free kick is floated in from the left-hand side here by Liverpool. The ball is loose and it's tucked away, but only as far as Fabinho. He's already hit one range stutter. Can he try another? Alexander-Arnold in the air, a little flick over the top onto the roof. Gini Ronaldo with the back flick and a goal kick. 1 minute of stoppage time to play. I just wonder, of the 2 minutes it is, we've had 1 minute, we're now into the second, for which we've got 40 seconds of that minute left, second minute left. I just wonder if Pep Guardiola will come onto the pitch at half time and actually confront the referee. Because if I was him, I'd be furious. Certainly on the VAR decision, it really boggles the mind, really. But can City find a way back into this? They're certainly not capable. They've got the good attacking intent, but when their defence is so stretched to the limits, of course, with injuries and stuff, and of course, one can't legislate for injuries. Here's Aguero now. Gets it onto the right foot. Aguero shoots, but he's hit it straight down the goalkeeper's throat, and that should be that for the first half. We've played the 2 minutes. Surely there can't be much time for anything else as Pep Guardiola patrols down the touchline now. Is he going to confront the referee? No, he's gone straight down the tunnel. So back goes my theory straight away. Well, Liverpool lead at half-time, 2-0. Fabinho and Salah with the goal scores. Fabinho's been a 6-minute blockbuster. Salah with a close-range header making it 2. But that's not been the half of it because there has been more VAR controversy. In the build-up to Liverpool's first, they looked a clear penalty when they looked to be a clear and obvious handball. And I mean clear and obvious handball against Trent Alexander-Arnold. And City, in my opinion, Michael Oliver should have been overruled, because that was definitely, in my opinion, a penalty kick, and there will be repercussions for that. I'm certain of that. Liverpool then scored on that attack from Fabinho, obviously. Salah making it 2-0, but they have missed opportunities, of course. So it's not exactly been plain sailing for Liverpool, but City will certainly feel hard done by with the VAR decision, which should have overruled it but didn't. I just wonder where we go from here now. We're going to take a 10-minute break here at Anfield. It's Liverpool in the box seat. City still have it all today, but as Sue says, you cannot back against them so far. But it's going to take a monumental half-time team talk by Pep Guardiola to get themselves back into this contest. It's half-time at Anfield. We're taking a break. We'll be back in 10 minutes for the whole second half. At half-time here, it's Liverpool 2, Manchester City 0. Welcome back to Anfield, into the commentary box here with me, John Stuttard, in the commentary box. And, well, I've just seen the reaction that Pep Guardiola's seen the replay at half-time, and wasn't happy because him and his assistant, Mikel Arteta, former Everton player as well, came out and discussed the possibilities there, and of course Michael Oliver's got one shot at it, of course, but you've got to have a look at Paul Tierney there. I don't agree with Steve McManaman. I was listening to him and what Dermot Galker, former Premier League referee, had to say, and I don't agree with them. I think that's a clear-cut penalty, and I think City should have had a penalty at the other end. But unfortunately that's the way it is, and in the game we can't change the course of history. So we're back underway in the second half. No changes from either side. Liverpool now attacking the Kop end to our right. So let me give you the two teams just to remind you again. It's Alisson in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Lovren, Van Dijk and Robertson across the back for Liverpool. Then it's the first choice from three of Henderson, Fabinho and Wijnaldum. Fabinho scoring that cracker jack, of course. And then up front centre, who scored Firmino and Mane. And that's the Liverpool 11 as Aguero goes forward, but it's hooked away by Virgil van Dijk. Up and underish, which sounds former Everton player, gets a good end of that. And then Van Dijk wins the next little instalment of head tennis. And now the ball is out to the far side and Bernardo Silva back inside again. Let's just look at that City side again with Bravo replacing the injured Ederson in goal. Then it's Walker, Stones, Fernandinho and Angelino. Now De Bruyne, Rodri, Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, Aguero and Sterling. And here come Manchester City, 2-0 down. And obviously a little bit annoyed about what's happened so far. And it's played in there towards De Bruyne. Ronaldo's pass wasn't the best one. And now Mane takes it away for Liverpool. In the first half, really, that will go down as controversy. And, well, I'm afraid VAR's had to rear its ugly head yet again. I don't want to keep banging on about it because it's actually been a relief for the two commentaries prior to that were great commentaries, but I'm afraid it's just not been enough. When you look at the way things have gone at the moment, Sue's just messaged me on Facebook at the moment. Yeah, well, I think I don't think there's any problem there. As the ball comes in, and we've lost pitches again, I'm afraid. Well, we're all having problems here, I'm afraid. It's been that sort of afternoon. Technical problems always seems to happen when big games come around. The technical faults always seem to happen. So, but City have fought back well. I hope we've got the chat as well back as well. Sometimes the chat comes and goes. It all depends on the internet connection. So, what I would suggest, Sue, is just enjoy the second half if you're listening, and I'll endeavour to get back to you as the wheres and the whys, because obviously I've a lot to do at the moment. I've got to try and get my issues sorted at my end as well, because we're having a few technical faults, I'm afraid. It's not the easiest thing to do when you're trying to commentate on a live game, and technical problems is very, very hard to come by, very hard to get rid of. But we will endeavour to keep going and hopefully not miss too much in the way of excitement for you. But Liverpool are 2 goals clear as things stand. And we'll just go back. I mean, I was watching at half time. I was watching the half time wrap up, and I couldn't not agree with Steve McManaman. There's not often that Steve McManaman, I respect him as a great footballer. I don't think there's much doubt about that. But when you look at the way he's I mean, he's going to be Liverpool biased in any case, isn't he? And that's always going to be the problem with people like McManaman. I think he's totally wrong. I think you look at we're going out to the 49th minute and it's still 2-0 to Liverpool, in case you're wondering where everything is. So we're trying to keep up with the pace at the moment. It's very difficult as well. We're now back live with the action as Fabinho gets the ball forward, and now Alexander-Arnold now on the right hand side. We've had 50 minutes of the game. 5 minutes gone in the second half, and the ball hacked out of play for a throw-in. Angelino, the man knocking the ball out of play. So Trent Alexander-Arnold to take the throw-in. Alexander-Arnold to Henderson. Henderson doing really well. Gets to the byline, gets the cross into the penalty area. Is that 3? It is 3! Marnie coming in at the back post. And that might be the killer goal now for Manchester City. Marnie at the back. The goalkeeper got a good hand on that. And May will be kicking himself for not saving it. The ball came into the left-hand side. Pep Guardiola, he's not impressed. Quite clearly there. City all at sea again at the back. And yet again, a really poor goal. Good running here. Good cross by Henderson. Teed it up nicely, but that's savable. Marnie scored number 3. The only debate is, will it be an own goal? Was Marnie's header going on target? That would be only be the only... Well, that would be the question mark for me. But it's a definite third, and Marnie will claim it. And Liverpool now have got Manchester City right where they want them now. They needed a bit of help and a bit of luck along the way. There's no doubt about that. 7th goal in the league this season. 6 minutes into the second half. Excuse me. And Manchester City might now be sunk, and their wait for a win at Anfield since 1981 will go on. As Angelino wins the header midway inside his own half. It's been a disappointing evening. It really has been for City. Here's Aguero, still yet to score at Anfield, yet in 10 previous appearances. This is his 11th tonight. As the ball is spread out towards Angelino. Angelino now back inside to Rodri. Rodri now edge of the area. Looking to get De Bruyne into it, and the ball threaded through, but that's going to go out of play. No more chance. Well, Gundogan was going to go on the end of that, but however, it's got a deflection. De Bruyne's taking it quickly. Gundogan back to De Bruyne. The poor cross from De Bruyne. He's had a poor game by his own high standards, and he usually sets the standards, De Bruyne, of all people. Here's Sterling. Good skill by Sterling. He's beaten 2 past 3. No, can he get the shot off? Sterling shoots. Oh, he deflects onto the roof of the net. Great skill by Raheem Sterling, but what a block by Dejan Lovren, who's getting congratulatory pats on the back from Virgil van Dijk and Andy Robertson and all. Gets his body on the line, and, well, that might have been going in, but for the deflection off Lovren. It was a terrific deflection. All City get for that little enterprise from Sterling is a corner. Short to him. The ball laid into the penalty area. Bit up and underish the ball. Might break in there for Sterling. It might break there for Bernardo. And it might break for Aguero inside the area. But it just won't break, and the flagging factor's gone up. Mr. Burt on the far side deciding that was offside. Apparently he's a FIFA approved official. But I think some of the officiating has to be questioned this afternoon, both on the field and with VAR. It's just not been good enough by halves. But Liverpool 3-0 up, and here's Henderson now on the right hand side. Can they make it 4 on this break? No, they can't. Header out by Angelino. Comes to Alexander-Arnold. Now Henderson's ball into the penalty area. Not away yet. Here's Robertson. Can he finish it off? And Bobby Firmino in the end gets it over. Goal kick to Manchester City. Liverpool trailing, Liverpool rather leading Manchester City by 3-0, and I think one or two of the subs there. I've just noticed James Milner and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain now just warming up down below me. Here's Raheem Sterling, who's been caught offside. And it's not going City's way at all today. Just to remind you of the two benches: Adrian, Milner, Keita, Gomez, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Lallana and Origi for Liverpool. For Manchester City, Carson, the backup goalkeeper. Jesus, David Silva, Riyad Mahrez, Otamendi and Foden. Yes, there will be a JB MLTM. 65th minute as per usual, Russ. There was never a doubt about that. Now, the live league table as things stand. Liverpool would be top with 34 points. Then Leicester with 26. So Liverpool will take a 9-point gap over Manchester City, who would stay fourth with 25 points as things stand. Leicester, they'll be 7 points ahead of Leicester and Chelsea. And that's the crux of the matter. But remember, Manchester City at some point in the season last year had a 12-point deficit and still came back to win the title by a point. So you can never discount Manchester City as regards the title race. Nothing gets decided, of course, in November, but Liverpool must learn from their experiences of last year, because they were unbeaten going to Manchester City at the turn of the year, if you remember, on New Year's Day, and we covered that game at the Etihad on the JB Claret channel. And City got away with one or two decisions that day, but won the game ultimately. It's Liverpool's turn in the sun. And the crucial thing for Liverpool last season, they only took 1 point from 6 on offer against Manchester City over the two games. They only managed a point at Anfield, when the game they could have so easily lost but for a missed penalty. But here come Manchester City now. Bernardo Silva. Only Aguero waiting in the area. The cross was in fact poor anyway. How long will Guardiola leave it? Who knows? That's the conundrum now he's got. But here's Marnie now on the left-hand side, deep inside City territory. Looks to find Mo Salah, who scored the second goal. Into Bobby Firmino. Oh, he nearly got through there. Good tackle there by Fernandinho. Alexander-Arnold, audacious attempt, and they sit up and under and behind, and it's going to be a corner for Manchester City, for Liverpool's rather. Excuse me. Oh, as you can tell, I've got a little bit of a cold. I suppose been doing 3 games in 4 days, and the cold, and the wet, and the rain, and travelling, and all that. Plus work, it takes it all out of you. Alexander-Arnold with the corner, short to Mo Salah, back to Alexander-Arnold on the right-hand side. The ball playing into the City penalty area. The heads go up. It's the City head that wins it. Now De Bruyne to bring it away. He's got Aguero now. Aguero over the halfway line. Sterling making a terrific run. The ball wasn't played as well as Sterling would have liked it, and Sterling's had to hold the ball up, and inexplicably gives the ball away when he was put under pressure. And now the ball played back once again. 58 minutes gone. Liverpool 3, Manchester City 0 is the scoreline. The comment section seems to be up and running soon, so you can make comments. Here's Raheem Sterling from Manchester City, former Liverpool player, not enjoying his return to Anfield. Been booed and jeered throughout. And here is De Bruyne, edge of the area. Kevin De Bruyne hits the Laverne and goes behind for a City corner. City have deserved much more than what they've got today. They have been enterprising. They have looked good, but just ultimately defensively it's cost them. And of course that little error by a certain Mr. Tierney down at Stockley Park as well. Corner to be taken by De Bruyne. Goes longer this time into the area. Well taken by Alisson. They haven't got a particularly good height up front either. That just makes it very difficult really to get heads on it. Maybe they need to sign a tall player. Some of these big teams don't have to rely on them actually being tall. It's just the way that they're... short usually is better now in these situations. These are 6'8" bean poles. Peter Crouch are certainly a thing of the past now. As Henderson now finds Mane. It's 3-0 to Liverpool, and Mane spreads a lovely ball out, but he can't find Mo Salah. Coming up towards an hour, no substitutions used yet. City 3-0 down. It looks as if we're going to see a change in personnel, and it's going to be former Manchester City player James Milner, I believe, that's going to be coming on in a second or two. And we'll just remind you what's been happening in the first round of the FA Cup, because there's been some real shocks in that one as well as we come up towards an hour gone. City on the attack. Earlier today, Manchester United beat Brighton by 3-1, and Wolves beat Aston Villa in the West Midlands derby by 2-1. Wolves banishing the old adage that oh, just wait a minute, that was a good cross there from Sterling, cut out by Alisson. Wolves banishing the myth that when you're playing the Europa League on Thursday, it seems to affect your league form when you play Sunday. So maybe there's a little bit of a booking trend there. So the FA Cup in full swing. We covered the commentary on that the other day as well, so which was very enjoyable. Let's just check the results there in case you're wondering. Henderson's gone off and Milner on incidentally. So let me just tell you what's happened as regards today. Dover knocked out Southend 1-0. That was a huge shock. Barnet 0, Fleetwood 2. That was a result. Bristol Rovers and Bromley drew 1-1 and will have to replay again as Bernardino cuts it out. Both Liverpool and Manchester City, along with all the other Premier League teams and Championship teams, will come in at the third round stage. The second round draw, incidentally, is being held tomorrow evening, and we won't be able to bring you that one live, I'm afraid, because I'm going to be elsewhere. Excuse me once again. So Bristol Rovers and Bromley in the hat for the next round as the ball is hit boy and it's cut out once again. Here's Gini Wijnaldum. Wijnaldum now just having a fantastic run at the moment, and here's Mane now just drifted out to the right hand side. I will bring you the rest of the cup scores from this afternoon. In fact, we can bring them now. So Bristol Rovers 1, so Dover 1, Southend 0, Barnet 0, Fleetwood 2, Bristol Rovers 1, Bromley 1, Chippenham Town 0, Northampton 3, Gateshead 1, Oldham 2. Big shock at Risbon Road, Leyton Orient 1, Malden and Tiptree 2. Great result for Malden and Triptree, even as Firmino now gets the ball for Liverpool. Midway side, the City half, but well defended there by Manchester City. But then here's Ronaldo trying his luck, shoots, deflects, and City in the end hooked the ball away. Still Liverpool on the attack. Well, we'll come back to the cup scores in a second. There's only about 3 or 4 of them still to come, and there's a couple of shocks in them as well. And Liverpool keeping possession really well here as they ought to be doing. Here's Mane, Alexander-Arnold on the up into Mo Salah inside the area. Salah shoots, deflected. It comes to Alexander-Arnold on the right, hits Angelino, comes away, and out of play for a throw for Liverpool, almost level with the City 18-yard line. Carry on, big shock here at Moss Rose. Macclesfield 0 even, Kingstonian 4, Wrexham 0, Rochdale 0. They replay at Scotland. York 0, Altrincham 1, and Yezen Yedin 0, Oxford 2. Oxford, of course, doing really well in the Carabao Cup. They've reached the last 8 of that competition, of course, Oxford, and having a good run in that competition, and have started off a potential good run in the FA Cup this afternoon. That was a tough game for them, but they threw nonetheless 2-0. Manchester United beat Brighton, remember, 3-1 at Old Trafford. And of course, Wolves beat Aston Villa 2-1. No Tom Heaton for Villa, he was injured. And Jed Steer, I think, had to limp out as well. So Villa have got 1 or 2 problems in the goalkeeping department as things stand at the moment for them. Here's Sergio Aguero now for Manchester City, who trail 3-0 as we come towards the final 25 minutes and the start of the vote for the JB Man of the Match. We'll explain how that works in a second, because we've got Sterling on the ball here on the left-hand channel. Goes past Mane. Sterling to the byline. He goes down. What will the referee give? No penalty, and Sterling is furious. He thinks it should be a penalty. He's furious. A yellow card has gone to one of the City players. I'm not sure who it's gone to. Is it gone to Rodri? Let's have a look. Well, he's definitely pushed for me. I think that's a penalty. I think City, have got to be right to feel a little bit aggrieved by that. That looked a clear penalty to me. And it'd be amazing if VAR's not used on this one, because they look to push there. Referee's booked him for diving, I assume. Well, I think there's a push there. And the VAR says agrees with the referee's decision. Rodrigo has actually been booked. Well, it boggles the mind, really, that Rodri's been booked. So 3-0, we just lost Sal temporarily there, so we're back with you live. Rodri has been booked for dissent, I'm told, as that free kick comes in. And it comes out to Gundogan. There's going to be an offside here. But Alisson's got it anyway. Well, I'd like to see Panini and Russ's view on that penalty shout with Manchester City. In my opinion, it looked a penalty as Alexander Arnold bursts through. Now he goes down. Nothing given there. Well, it's just one of those days where it's just not going one's way. Panini has gone for Andrew Robertson as man of the match. And you follow his example if you want to vote. MLTM, hashtag name of your player. That's all you've got to do. Manchester City come forward again with Raheem Sterling. Sterling now looking towards De Bruyne. De Bruyne. Into the area. Can he fashion something here for Sergio Aguero in the 6-yard area? Can't connect. And it's just that sort of afternoon for Manchester City, where everything is perfect until the last part of the play. And now here's Sadio Mane now for Liverpool. Russ has voted. He's gone for Virgil van Dijk. So one vote for Andy Robertson, one vote for Virgil van Dijk. Here's Kevin De Bruyne for Manchester City. Cuts inside on the left-hand channel. Finds Raheem Sterling. And Aguero's trying to stay outside, but De Bruyne has won the ball back and he's trying to get past Van Dijk, and not many people succeed in getting past Van Dijk, and that's why he's such a highly rated defender, and that's why Liverpool were prepared to pay almost £90 million for his services, because they knew what a quality defender he really was. And he even stops Kevin De Bruyne, a Dutchman stopping a Belgian. Here's Angelino with a poor cross. See, got out of play for a Liverpool throw-in. As we see that opportunity again. Great bowling from De Bruyne, and he just needs to stretch a little bit further. And that's one back for Manchester City. That's all that was needed. Well, I'll be interested to see other people's opinions on that second potential penalty that didn't go City's way. Now oh, that's a poor ball. That's a poor ball. Rodri. Gundogan, sorry. Gundogan. We're going to see Gabriel Jesus. Well, what's baffled me is that Pep Guardiola's made... Well, Pep Guardiola's probably made his substitutions a little bit too late. Russ reckons that was a penalty. So, well, from my opinion, and from Russ's opinion, City should have had... Well, they've been robbed of 2 penalties by the looks of it. City have been robbed on 2 occasions. It's got to be said. And this is where VAR needs to get in there and sort this out. This is why I say bringing people that are more technically minded than these officials that we've got, or these, well, I'm going to say it on air, Muppets. The current system that's operated by referee Muppets, quite honestly. And is it any wonder why FIFA don't take English officials to the World Cup? I'll say it time and time again until, they're going to meet up with Mike Riley during the international break. They should have been meeting up during the week. All these officials and all the Premier League teams and Mike Riley, because the longer this ridiculous system goes on where, I hope they can get people in that and operate the system brilliantly. I think, I just... No need to offending Kermit. Anyway, back to the game. And Sergio Aguero, surprise, is going off. I don't think he can believe it. I can't believe it. I'm a bit surprised at that. But it is what it is. Gabriel Jesus. Well, the new snookers now with time running out. They need 3 goals down in snookers if they're going to get out of this game, I'm afraid. If anyone can pull a deficit back, City can, but not with passes like that from Gabriel Jesus. They can't. There's a Liverpool player down stricken, and I think it's Sadio Mane, who's feeling the effects a little bit. It's been a blood and thunder game. Battling with Sterling. There was a throw-in elbow, but Sterling was certainly had eyes for the ball. He didn't look towards Marnie and elbow him on purpose. It was just a coming together, and Sterling just accidentally just nudged his face a bit. As Alisson now takes possession, picks the ball up, and he's taking his time with it. As the ball's in play, he's got every right to take as long as he dare necessary. Of course, within the rules of the game, of course. Here's Bobby Firmino now deep inside City territory. Cuts in from the right. Now the ball goes to the left. And here's Robertson. Still inside City's half. 10 yards inside now. Fabinho to Trent Alexander-Arnold. And he plays the ball over again to the left-hand side. This is Andy Robertson now for Liverpool. Into Ronaldo. His first touch was a little bit dodgy there, but did okay. 3-0 to 3-0 to Liverpool rather over Manchester City. And the crucial factor was that Liverpool, if they'd just won one of the 2 games against City last year, would have been champions of England as well as Europe. And that's what it boiled down to in the end. Here's Milner looking to get one against his old club. John Stones stops him, and it will be a corner to City. Oh, a corner against City, I should say. Liverpool looking to score another one. I think City have deserved the 3-0 score, and I think it's harsh on them. They've dominated most of the play. It's just been the finishing, really, and some very dodgy VAR refereeing that's cost City here today, and there'll be inquests plenty if that does turn out to be the case, which looks increasingly like now with 73 minutes of the match gone. It's a goal kick to Manchester City. Excuse me. There's Pep. Looking, I suppose, I'm not sure philosophical's probably the right word, but what can you do at this stage of proceedings when everything you've tried has not come off? And then you ask for some VAR decisions to go right for you, and invariably they haven't done so. And it's City have been victims of VAR in the past, so it be interesting to see what it says after the match. But I think, let's face it. I know there's a lot of people that want VAR banished, and I'm certainly advocating towards that. But I think now that the powers that be have brought it in, I don't think they're going to take it back in a hurry. I think it's here to stay, but as I keep saying, it's not the technology per se that's the problem. It's the people that are using it, and you know, again, no disrespect to Kermit and his friends, they are muppets that are using the system, and they're using it like muppets. It's completely wrong. Here's Rodri now to Angelino, left-hand side. Now then, chance here for Sterling to run at Trent Alexander-Arnold. Just can't get the ball away, and then Marnie with a hazardous back pass which went perilously fast towards the goalkeeper, who had to stick out a leg and turn it behind for a City corner. Final quarter of an hour then, plus stoppage time, and can City make a fight of it now in the final 15 minutes? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. Here's De Bruyne now. And that's a poor ball. That's straight to Alisson. Oof. Just controlled it with his first touch, but got it again with his second. So we're into the final quarter hour. 3-0 to Liverpool. But there have been some controversy again. City look as if they've been robbed twice on on two possible VAR decisions. And there will be obviously repercussions from this. I can bet your bottom dollar Pep will be having a few words to say after the game. I think that's probably a given. And City look to try and find a way back into this. It's going to need a comeback of huge proportions, and it looks as if their miserable run here at Anfield as an away team, stretching back to 1981. It's 38 years since they won. Even Joe Corrigan, they were cup finalists. There were John Bond was the manager in those days. There Trevor Francis, there Dennis Stewart. Joe Corrigan was the goalkeeper that day for City. And I think Bruce Grobbelaar scored a comical own goal in that game, but there's going to be no repeat of it today here at Anfield as the ball played up towards the penalty area. Trent Alexander-Arnold getting that away. Here's De Bruyne. And here is Angelino. First cross was blocked by Virgil van Dijk, or rather Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now the ball played to the edge of the area. Sterling shoots, deflects away. And then the shot comes in again. It deflects this time off Bobby Firmino for Kyle Walker's attempted effort out of play. City throw, level the edge of the 18-yard area for Liverpool. They're going to bring on Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Incidentally, here's Angelino on the left for Manchester City. Back in field it goes now to Rodri. Rodri, who's been booked for descent, finds Angelino. Three in the middle for City if they can pick that out. The ball in from the left. De Bruyne goes in. No fouls, says the referee. Angelino with a low cross. Again, it bisects everyone. Bernardo Silva shoots. And City are on the board. They scored one more. It's one back for City. Now they need another two more, and there's still 13 minutes to do it. Now Jurgen Klopp's turn to go ballistic. He's furious that the clean sheet's gone. And I think he's having a few words towards Mike Dean and the officials. Well, it's kicking off in more ways than one on the benches as well as the pitch. There's the cross. Now, was there a foul in the build-up there? Maybe there was. Possible offside, maybe. Well, I suppose when VAR doesn't... Well, at least VAR's been consistent, but consistently poor, because I think there may have been an offside in the build-up because Jesus looked in there, but definitely Bernardo wasn't offside and stuck the ball inside the post, the right-hand post. It cannoned off the post. And VAR, I think, is happy enough with the decision. Meanwhile, Bobby Firmino is off and Chamberlain on. So Liverpool 3, Manchester City 1. And the clean sheet's gone for Liverpool, at least. And City now, I think they've deserved something from the game in terms of a goal, because I think they've worked really hard. So that's Bernardo's 5th goal of the season. Meanwhile, Liverpool looking to restore their 3-goal cushion. The cross in the end was not a good one. And here's Kyle Walker now down the right for Manchester City. If they could get one now in the next few minutes, City, it would make for a really good grandstand finish to this game. It's certainly ebbed and flowed. Boos around this ground here now as City keep possession. And they need 2 goals even for a draw. If they were to score 3 in the next 10.5 minutes, it would be the biggest comeback since Lazarus. Here's Raheem Sterling now. You can never discount Manchester City at your peril. Here is Sterling. Sterling into the area. Sterling again. Ball back across. And if that goes in from Jesus, that was 3-2 and the game in the balance. Oh my goodness me. It was Chamberlain on for Firmino. Thank you for alerting me there, Russ. As the ball is knocked forward again. And now De Bruyne can sense an opportunity. Out comes Alisson and he does well. Just for one moment I thought we were going... Oh! I first thought for one fleeting moment it was going to go 3-2 then for Manchester. 3-2 then on City. Looking to get back. It would have been a remarkable last 10 minutes if we'd have seen that go in. Manchester City get a free kick. Looked a harsh decision to me. There wasn't anything in that at all. But it's City on the play now with Angelino from the free kick. Excuse me. Final 10 minutes of what's been a pulsating game. We still have a tie for man of the match between Andy Robertson and Virgil van Dijk. If you want to vote for your man of the match, it's still there. Name me your player and hashtag JBMLTM for your vote to count. Here comes Raheem Sterling. And Alexander Arnold had a fistful of shirt as that ball was played back, and Sterling is furious again, venting his frustration, quite rightly so, towards Michael Oliver. He looked as if he was being completely pushed inside that penalty area, and City can feel rather aggrieved about that. This is the second. This was the chance before. I'm amazed that Sterling actually didn't shoot himself. He's trying to be too unselfish at that particular time. And it's City laying siege. Liverpool sitting back at what they've got, it seems to me. Here's Bernardo Silva in towards De Bruyne. Will they be tempted to bring David Silva on at this stage? Who knows? Liverpool 3-1 up, but the job's far from done. As Bob Pedro used to say, a game lasts 90 minutes, and until that 90th minute has ticked by, City are very much in this game. They can get a second one now. It's game on. And here's Raheem Sterling. Sterling looking to run. He clears handball. Referee was in a good position. And then another City player goes down, challenging with Alisson. And I think Jesus has hurt himself. Pep Guardiola is fuming. And no wonder. I think he's got every reason to feel it. Well, there's going to be some fireworks on and off the pitch. I can just see Brian Kidd there. He's seen it all before as a player, manager, and assistant manager. Raheem Sterling having a right go at the referee here. He thinks there's a handball. Let's have a look. Oh! It's in his hand. It's in his hand. How is this not a penalty? I mean, it's clearly his hand's clearly out there. And Michael Oliver in a terrific position. How on earth can he not see that? City, I'm sorry to say this, but Michael Oliver's had a shocker. And poor Tierney as well, down at Stockley Park. You've all had shockers. Absolute disgrace. And is it any wonder why FIFA don't turn to us for the World Cup in terms of officiating? We're the poorest around, I'm afraid. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, Michael Oliver is a terrific referee in a lot of respects, but I think some of these decisions are beyond comprehension. City are not giving up, however. This is Bernardo Silva. Now Jesus, who seems to have recovered from that little injury he picked up a few seconds ago. Angelino playing the ball in, but they would have been offside anyway. And it reached Raheem Sterling anyway. Sue's voted for man of the match. She's gone for Andy Robertson. So 2 votes for Sue. And Papinini for Andy Robertson. 1 for VVD, Virgil van Dijk. Maybe they ought to give one to the referees down at Stockley Park, Liverpool, because they've They have been a little bit helped. I'm not saying they deserved it or anything, not deserved it or anything, but there have been 3 contentious decisions here. Excuse me. And Liverpool now looking to defend, but it's Gundogan on the ball for City. That's surely a foul on Rodri. It has to be a free kick given. And now City get on with it now with Gundogan. He finds Raheem Sterling, chips it in. City get the throw in, level with the 18-yard box of Liverpool. Earlier today, Wolves beats Aston Villa. Flop of the match, yes, quite worse. I have to agree with that. I think that's absolutely correct. It's just spoilt what's been a magnificent game of football, which is probably going to be won by Liverpool, not just with the VAR, because they've attacked really well. But here's Angelino. City are not giving up this by any means. 5 minutes to go. Here's De Bruyne now. 3-1 Liverpool lead, but it should have been 3-2 a few minutes ago to City, when City had a glaring opportunity. Now then, can they create something? Angelino, this needs to be a good crossing for the left-hand side. He chipped it in high and the header came in. He was stretching. And it was Kyle Walker who got up. And in the end, just couldn't get the necessary purchase to finish the job off there. And it's into the Anfield Road end for a goal kick. Alisson was all over the place, actually. And if Walker just had kept that down and hit the target, that was 3-2. And now we're getting Mo Salah coming off. 5 goals and assists in all competition this season. One of 2 Premier League players with 5+ goals and assists. Pulisic, of course, of Chelsea, scored a good hat-trick at Turf Moor against Burnley a couple of weeks ago. And we're going to see Joe Gomez come on for Liverpool now. Mo Salah taking his time. And I think now this is where Mike Dean should be saying to Michael Oliver, add the time on at the end. We need to be adding this time off at the end. He took at least a minute to get off the field, which is completely and utterly wrong. And there should be a ruling that if you're being substituted, run off the field as quick as we can. We just for the pure sake of let the game flow. Let's have a bit of flow to the game. That's nothing against Liverpool. It's a thing that I've always had a problem with, regardless of who's playing and what and what not. Anyway, the ball's chipped forward now, and De Bruyne on the chase, and that's out of play. It will be a goal kick for Liverpool. Well, I have to say that City will feel very, very hard done by today, and I can understand why. I think there's at least three cast iron penalties that have been waved away by both officials on the field and the VAR officials. I'm afraid Michael Oliver and Paul Tierney will have to answer serious questions to their superiors when they debrief the game afterwards, because I honestly think Liverpool have got away with three cast iron decisions that should have gone to Manchester City. Not taking anything away from Liverpool. I enjoy watching Liverpool play. They play some real swashbuckling stuff, but I think some of the officiating has really left a lot to be desired, and that's really has saddened me really as a neutral watching this game, because I was really looking forward to this game, and it's just a shame that this controversy has had to happen. Kyle Walker is furious with Andy Robertson. He feels that Robertson's pushed him, and you can understand why City are angry. You can understand why. 3-1 with 2 minutes of normal time to go. It's not been City's day, and I do feel that they've had the majority of the big decisions wrongly go against them, but that's not taking anything away from Liverpool. They have played well. If that VAR decision gets given at 0-0, how different that game could have been. And we might have been looking at the first City winning 38 years at Anfield, but it isn't going to be the case, I don't think. But until the final whistle, City will still feel that they can still get something from this game. Having said all that, taking the emotion and the VAR stuff out of the equation, you can't deny that City haven't had chances, because they've had they've had a catalogue of chances and they just haven't taken it. And I mean, as much as we can berate VAR for its slapstick and Muppets-like approach from certain officials down at Stockley Park, it's it's got to be said that City have had chances, and now Sterling and Gomez square up to each other, and it's all getting a bit unsavoury, to be quite honest, and you can understand why Sterling's frustration. Joe Gomez really should be shutting himself up and just getting on with the game. He'd no need to get involved there. One can understand Sterling's frustration, but Joe Gomez, just keep your mouth shut and get on with the game. Liverpool are nearly there. We're playing the 90 minutes now, and I can tell you that Andrew Robertson has won our Man of the Match award. Here's De Bruyne with a 3-kick for City, and a header over the bar. Header over the bar from Jesus, who urges Alisson to get on with it. Keep right on. I think he's a Birmingham fan by the name. He's on. Good evening to you, mate. I would love to be in the Premier League next year as a Blue Nose. We're going to see these two teams hammer and tongs again. You are a Birmingham fan. Do you think you can still sneak into those players? It's a tight division this year at the Championship. I'm a Burnley fan, hence the channel's name, but I'm a very much a neutral today, and I've got to say City have been robbed. Three contentious penalty decisions wrongly not given to Manchester City, and the ball's been given away now, and Liverpool look to profit from it for Oxlade-Chamberlain. Now Ronaldo trying to keep away. Oh, it's nice that you like Burnley. Someone likes Burnley. Fantastic. We usually get a lot of bad press from people that say we play a little bit one-dimensional. We weren't playing one-dimensional yesterday. I thought we were terrific against West Ham. Deserved to win by more than 3, as it turned out. And we were victims of a dodgy VAR decision. And I think as a Blue Nose, you'll think yourself lucky that you're not got VAR. And throw-in is conceded there by Robertson. Sue says, what's Gomez got to be mad about? Your team's winning, for goodness sake. She's a very fervent supporter, is our Sue. Joke, definitely. As the ball played into the penalty area. Seconds to go. Here's Fernandinho. Ball looked in there. Flaggers would have gone up, I think, if a City player would have touched it. We've had 2 of the 4 minutes anyway. Just to remind you that Andy Robertson is the man of the match. There's a foul there. And that'll be a free kick to Manchester City. Marnie just querying as to why. I don't think he needs to complain too much, really. Liverpool nearly there now. 90 seconds or so of the stoppages to go. And what's been a terrific performance, certainly from Liverpool. They've played really well, swashbuckling football. But so too has City. Let's give City their fair dues as well. They've played really well. I don't think 3-1. I think 3-1 flatters. I think 3-1 is a very unjust scoreline. I think City have created a lot more than what the scoreline will suggest, and then they'll point, of course, to those poor VAR decisions that should have led really to at least 2, maybe 3 penalties. Nothing like bigging yourself up there, Russ. No offence taken. Anyway, Virgil van Dijk keeps the ball in play on the far side. Oh dear. Sterling is fouled. Van Dijk could well be a yellow card offence. He's completely frustrated, Sterling. And one can understand why. I'm credit to Virgil van Dijk there for not reacting. He could have reacted there and gone right at Sterling, but he didn't. Other players would have just gone back and retaliated, but Virgil van Dijk, having said all that, kept his cool there. We've got less than 15 seconds of the stoppages to go. And, well, look at that. 35 wins, 10 draws in their previous 45 Premier League home matches. And that is the second longest ever unbeaten run at home by any team, any Premier League team in Premier League history. We've played the 4 minutes now. All eyes on referee Mr. Oliver, who brings this... well, he hasn't brought it to a close. I thought the whistle had gone. We were hearing cheers in the background there. I thought the referee had blown for full time then. We're still playing on. We're 17 seconds over the stoppage time, and there goes the whistle finally. And, well, that's good to see. That's good to see. Messrs. Klopp and Guardiola there just hugging each other at the end. Because this 90 minutes of football tonight, folks, has been intense. There was great football, masses of controversy. VAR, I'm afraid, rearing its ugly egg again. But the lead, more importantly for Liverpool at the top of the Premier League against over Manchester City, their big rivals, is now 9 points. Liverpool stay top with 34. Manchester City stay fourth with 25 points. But remember, there's still a long way of the season to go. So nothing's cut and dry yet. We're only in early November time, so there's still a good 3/4 of the season to go. But this is a damaging defeat for Manchester City. And it's a very disappointing defeat for Manchester City in a lot of respects, because they will feel that at least 3 decisions, or 3 possible penalties, should have been rewarded. And I honestly believe that they may well have a case. I'll be interested to see what Pep Guardiola says after the game. Well, he shook Michael Oliver's hand, but I don't think he's going to be on Michael Oliver's Christmas card list there. He made a bit of a gesture there. I can understand why Pep's a bit frustrated there, but to be fair to him, he's a very magnanimous man as well. And he's shaking a few of the Liverpool players' hand. A very sporting man still, despite the injustices that may have gone against him. But yeah, look at that. I mean, he still maintains the love of the game. Jurgen Klopp very happy. So Mo Salah there. There is a togetherness about Liverpool. Let's just not talk about VAR for a second. Let's look at Liverpool now. They're on a good run at the moment. Now, this was the sort of game they didn't win last season, which cost them the title, in my opinion. If they'd have won that game at Anfield last year, they might have won the league by 2 points. That's how close it was. Well, and Pep actually getting a good applause from the City fans. They knew even despite the defeat today, I think the City fans will go home quite satisfied, really, of how the team played. But there will be fury about the VAR again. But you know, the cop is still staying to the last, and he's cheering them up now, isn't he? He loves this club. You can tell he's a passionate guy, Jurgen Klopp. And the man is just a passionate guy. That is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's a great performance from Liverpool. Not so great if you're the match officials today. I'm afraid that Mr. Oliver and Mr. Tierney must take some of the blame. Just seeing Kenny Dalglish there. Kenny Dalglish still. He's Mr. Liverpool, isn't he? He's played, managed, still an ambassador. A great man. And he's even getting a massage from his missus. At least we can see the funny side of things at the end. Kenny Dalglish there. Certainly a Liverpool legend. No football next week for the Premier League because we've got an international break coming up. So we might be able to follow England next week. Who knows? But I think they only need one win to qualify for next year's Euros. But November the 24th, I think, when the Premier League reconvenes, and they start with Sheffield United against Manchester United. What a game that's going to be! And that's actually a Sunday match. Sorry, we might be bringing that one to you live. Then there's Villa on the Monday night. But Anfield now starting to empty. We're hoping if we can keep the stream running long enough, hopefully we can get some post-match reaction from this game tonight, because I would like to hear what Messrs. Klopp and Guardiola, certainly Guardiola, has to say after this. National League at 5:30 and League One at 12:30. Well, Panini's got the lower leagues covered for us. And check out his channel if he hasn't already. He's brought us a cup shot today. He might be bringing us another one later on, who knows. So let me just give you an up-to-date with all the other results that's happened here today, because it has actually been a very busy day for football. We've seen a victory for Manchester United. We've seen a victory rather for Manchester United, 3-1 over a very sorry Brighton and Hove Albion. But so Ollie's back at the wheel and his boss is moving very, very strongly at the moment. So all credit to him. 3-1 winners for Manchester United. Let me tell you how the goals came about, actually. Let me tell you how the goals came about. So today, Manchester United 3, Brighton 1. So let me give you the full rundown. Pereira put Manchester United in front after 17 minutes. And then Proper with an own goal after 19. And then don't pull one back for Brighton after 64. But Rashford sealing it with a minute later with making it 3-1. So that's how it finished at Old Trafford this afternoon in the All West Midlands affair. It was Wolverhampton Wanderers who took the bragging rights from Aston Villa 2-1 and got a little bit of revenge for their League Cup defeat a week and a half ago. Ruben Neves and Raul Jimenez, the match winner on Thursday, with the goals. Trezeguet pulled one back for Aston Villa, and Villa now dropped to remains 17th and above the bottom three. But they were outplayed for large periods, I'm afraid, by Wolverhampton Wanderers, who were superb. FA Cup first round. I don't think we're going to get any reaction. The stream, I'm afraid, is gone, so I'm afraid we're going to have to wrap these up after we've checked all the scores. I've got to go, really, because I've got other things to do, other commitments and everything else to do today. I haven't really got time, really. I was hoping to get reaction from both managers. I don't think that's now going to be the case. But let me check. Let me go through the. Oh, there was some championship scores. Bristol City won a little derby there, 1-0. So Bristol City back in contention in the championship. The FA Cup first round, Dover 1, Southend 0. Soriu, the young Greeks, with the goal after 84 minutes, knocking Southend out, and Sol Campbell with a massive job to do. Now, a very sorry looking Southend at the moment. Joey Barton's Fleetwood through easily 2-0 winners over Barnet. Evans and Hunter with the goals after 29 and 90 minutes respectively. Bromley will go again against Bristol Rovers. They got a draw. Lelia put Bristol Rovers ahead 1 by a goal to 0. That came after 78 minutes. But Bush with an equaliser 7 minutes from the end has earned the 10-men National League leaders replay, and it's going to be back at their ground. Great result for Bromley. Chippenham Town, no giant killing for them. They were beaten 3-0 quite comfortably. Smith and 2 goals. Smith after 22 minutes. Oliver with 2 goals, 26 and 3 minutes into time and on at the end of the first half. And that was the way it finished. Oldham won by 2-1 up at Gateshead. Morales after 28 minutes put Oldham ahead. Then Agnew equalised for Gateshead after 53. Then Smith getting the winner 13 minutes from the end. So Oldham into the next round. Big shock at Brisbane Road. Leyton Orient 1. 10-man Malden and Triptree 2. And, Parish had put Malden ahead after 43 minutes. Then Slew, if you haven't seen this goal, check it out on BBC. Because he's just scored one of the goals of the round. Well, he's beaten 2 or 3 Orient men, and he's fired the ball into the back of the net. It's a magnificent goal. I'd give that a watch if you go on the BBC FA Cup website. He put Malden 2-0 ahead. Then Drayton pulled one back for Orient after 67 minutes, but Parish then got sent off for a harsh decision, I thought. I mean, watch the highlights. He'd gone down with cramp. He wasn't obviously looking for a penalty, but the referee misconstrued it as a dive and wrongly kept the red card, and I hope that gets rescinded, but I doubt it with it being a second-year card and that, but that was a harsh decision. But having said that, though, Malden and Chittree held on and won 2-1, and congratulations go to Wayne Bennett's side. Macclesfield 0, Kingstonian 1-4, and it's a tough times for Macclesfield. They've half their team, most of their team on strike. They were thrashed 4-0. Hector Veyanopoulos with 2 goals on 11 minutes and 69 minutes. And Bennett only in the third after 47 minutes. Biovanovez got the 4th after 69. Hector opened the scoring on 7. So Macclesfield really up against it. Wrexham and Rochdale, they drew 0-0. So it means that the game had a stalemate up at the racecourse. So that ends 0-0. York 0, Altrincham 1. It means that Altrincham have ended York's 19-game unbeaten record as Altrincham go through. And Oxford, who are tearing up teams left, right and centre in the Carabao competition, well, they're easily now through to the next round of the Cup. This was going to be a potential banana skin for them, but they got through okay. 2-0 against Hayes and Yedding. Long after 29 and Hull after 69. And of course, tomorrow night, Portsmouth make the arduous trip up to not far from where I'm based, just outside in North Yorkshire, not far from Skipton, in fact, which is not far from me. Just 20 miles up the road from where I live, actually, Harrogate. And what a game that promises to be. Harrogate Town against Portsmouth. What a Monday night game that's going to be, and we might have a delayed commentary on that. I'm not sure yet. Depending on time restrictions, we might give that a little bit of airtime, but who knows. But, well, today it's been a funny old day. VAR, I'm afraid, rearing its ugly head again. City wrongly not given 3 cast iron penalties, which should have been given. But having said that, though, Liverpool were ruthless. Gone 2 up at half-time. City then Mane scored a third, and then City just hit back, but it hit back too late. But they will point to those 3 penalties that were probably wrongly not given. But in the end, it's Liverpool now. They're 9 points ahead now of City. But remember, last year it all turned around. So this next month is going to be so crucial for Liverpool. But they're on course at the moment. And that's it now for a few days now for live commentaries. It's nice to have been back. 3 out of the last 4 days we've done commentaries. And it's really been enjoyable. I hope you've all enjoyed what we've brought you. We brought you a dramatic game in the Europa League on Thursday night. We brought you an excellent cup tie, which on Friday night as well, which resulted in no shot, but still great game of football nonetheless. And we've had goals, plenty of good football, controversied a lot today in this fantastic game between Liverpool and Manchester City. Been 3 great games, and I hope you very much enjoyed all of them. But me, JB, have a fantastic Sunday. And don't forget, the Premiership, our FIFA 20 series is in operation at the moment. We're in the middle of editing that. Hopefully we'll have that on in the next 24 hours. And hopefully we'll have some cricket. And we'll also have some cricket action and some snooker as well to come on the channel as far as gaming is concerned as well. But I hope you've enjoyed the commentary of this one. Hope to see you soon. From me, JB, have a fantastic Sunday night. With the news that Liverpool, probably a little controversially, beat Manchester City by 3-1. From me, JB, from Anfield, good night to you all.